Welcome back to the Silver Lining, where it's no filler, no fluff. We just keep it a buck. And today we're gonna be talking about the Ravens. A lot has happened since the disappointing loss in Pittsburgh, and we're just gonna be talking about like where we go from here. I mean, it's a lot to talk about with this. Guys, Stan will be joining us a little bit later, but we got Kurt here now. What's going on, brother?
Yeah, getting a little bit underneath of the weather. Yo, I need a new coffee mug. My coffee mug cracked on me, so I still got my tea. It's just in a plastic cup today.
I
It's a
feel
plastic cup. I need a coffee mug, yo. That shit
I
fucked up.
feel you. I feel you. Got Jonathan and Alexander. What's going on, fam? What's up,
What up,
cuz?
John?
All
What
right.
it do?
Look, man, I guess we'll just start with you know, I'll start with this. Where were you when that field goal missed? And just kind of describe your reaction and just wondering.
Actually, I was at my cousin Theron's house. He got a loft, so it was a few of us in there watching the game, right?
Yeah.
Like, where were you? This is really a where were you moment
Yeah, it
for us,
is.
yeah.
It actually is.
Because that missed field goal sparked the end of John Harbaugh.
Yep.
So I was in the loft, and you gotta understand that game. You watched it. It's a classic
Yeah.
Ravens Steeler game.
It
Oh
was.
my God, yes! Oh my God, yes! Oh
Yep.
my God, yes! The whole
Yeah.
time.
Yep.
That's just what Ravens Steelers are the whole game. When he missed that field goal, when Likely made the catch because everybody was quiet on fourth down, and then Lamar lobbed it up there, and Likely went to go get it. We went crazy. Yes, 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 yes. Lamar downed it. Yes, yes. In the middle of the field, called timeout. Everybody, let's go, let's go, let's go. And then he missed it. Ain't nobody say nothing. We just start putting our coats on. The ladies start grabbing their pocketbooks. Like it wasn't even no, that's some bullshit. We People were so heartbroken. Like the entire room was just
Yeah.
like, all right, yo, let's go, yo, it's time to go, yo. Hey, baby girl, get your pocketbook. Like, and that's just what it was. It was like
Yeah.
everybody had the same thought. Like, let me get the fuck out of here for a while out, bro. Let me get out of here before I kill somebody. The whole room, nobody said nothing. Everybody just started putting their stuff on the leave, yo. People start wrapping up food in aluminum foil. You know what I'm saying? Like real talk, yo. It was over. It was over. It
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
no,
Yep.
like usually after every game you talk about it. Oh, I don't know
Yeah.
how
Talk
we
about
lost
it.
that. It
Yeah.
wasn't none of that, bro. It was just let's go, yo. And everybody got the hell out of there, yo, real fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, yo, that's one of the heartbreaks, yo.
Yeah, Jonathan said he was in the living room with his girl. So I mean, at least that much.
Yo, the thing is, my lady is a Steeler fan.
Wow.
Like
Damn, that's
born
rough.
Steeler, like yeah, like her family is Steeler fans.
Stone
Like
was too much. Everybody was.
so when I got home and that phone rung, I didn't want to
Yeah.
answer it. But when I answered it, she was like, "Hey, I ain't even going to brag." Because the whole game we was texting back and
Yeah,
forth,
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know, she was like, "I ain't even going to brag. I already know how you feel.
Yeah.
You want me to come over?" I was like, "Nah, I just want to be by myself tonight." But I really did, yo. I didn't. It was really like fuck the world, yo. After
Yeah.
that,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for me, man, I was just in the bedroom and I had my daughter on my lap and we were just like after Likely made the catch, I just grabbed her like sit right here. Sit right here and watch this here. And then that thing, it missed it. And I honestly I didn't even I didn't say nothing, bro. Like honestly, it was very reminiscent of when Cundiff missed the kick. I didn't say no. I just kind
yeah,
of just sat there. I ain't say
yeah.
nothing. Just sat there.
You talk about New England, the Lee Evans
Yeah.
catch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
after that game. Yep. I just didn't say nothing. I just kind of just sat there like because it's kind of crazy because like we always make this mistake as football fans, and that's when they make the big play that puts you in field goal range, it's like your mind goes beyond that play. You feel what I'm
yep,
saying? Like when Cundiff missed that kick, my mind was already in overtime because that kick would have tied it. So I was already like, okay, in overtime, yo, Flacco is cooking right now. We got this. After he makes this overtime, if we get ball first, the game is over. Like my mind was already there, but then the kick misses, and it's like I can't get back. I'm like, I'm still in the future. I got to bring myself back. You know what I'm saying? So with this shit, it was like my mind was already like, yo, man, like, do we even have a chance against Houston? I mean, it's at home. Do we have a chance?
Yo, my God, yo. Oh my God. We got a home game at MNT, bro.
Yeah. And then I gotta bring myself back from the future that didn't become and get back to this moment of the kiss.
Like on some Marvel, it's like on some Marvel shit, like
exactly.
alternate timelines and shit, yo.
Exactly. All right, so the Harbaugh firing. How'd you feel about it? I mean,
I think we owe this. I think we owe him. We do owe him this, though.
Yeah.
You know, we need to send them off correctly. So let's just go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
When Brian Billick got fired, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Everybody thought it was going to be Rex Ryan as our coach. The team was behind him. The organization was behind him. Fans was. They chose John Harbaugh. Mm-hmm. Nobody knew who he was. The only thing we knew about him was he was a part of a Andy Reid coaching team, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
John Harbaugh, I want to say thank you for everything that you've done as the Ravens coach. You brought us a Super Bowl. You had a high standard of excellence. It's hard to win a Super Bowl, but for John Harbaugh to have us in the mix, 80 to 85% of his coaching career, our hat goes off to you. I love you. I respect you. I honor you on this day. We felt that it was time for us to move on, but in no way, shape, form, or fashion do we harbor any hard feelings towards John Harbaugh. Nothing but class. Great guy, great leader. We wanted something new. When Billick got fired, I was like, yo, get rid of him, bro. I'm tired. I didn't like Billick. I never liked Billick. I just felt like you did all of that in Minnesota and we can't score at all in Baltimore. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I never really liked Billick. So when he got fired, I was like, yeah. With John Harbaugh, it's kind of like bittersweet. Like the girlfriend that you know ain't good for you, but you got to let her go. But you have so many great memories with her. It's just the relationship has run its course. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I think that's what it was.
And you know she's gonna be good for somebody else.
You know somebody gonna appreciate her. You just know, like, just certain shit. Like, I don't like her fried chicken, and she argues a little bit too much. But you know, and that's all it is, yo. But we love you, John Harbaugh. Thank you, and I wish you luck anywhere you go, man.
Yeah, I second that. And Jonathan said, facts. It's bittersweet, but it was time. That's kind of what it is. It was just time. Like it's bittersweet, but it was time. I will say this though. I didn't feel great about it when I heard they fired him. I didn't feel great about it. And the reason why I didn't feel great about it is because it honestly would have felt differently had they just fired him last year after we no-showed the first half in the Buffalo game last year. I kind of feel like this year there was so much adversity, and the fact that we were right there to make the playoffs of everything that happened to them this year, it kind of shows that like Harbaugh getting guys to play. He's a good coach. Like we're 1-5. You know, we had 3 different quarterbacks play this year. Our starting quarterback was never really the same, if we're being honest, right? Like, I mean, even when he got back, he wasn't the Lamar that we were used to, right?
Matabike.
Yeah, Matabike. So many injuries on the defense. I mean, and despite all of that, we're a 44-yard field goal away from hosting a playoff game. You feel what I'm saying? And so for him to get fired from that after a season like that, to me, it just didn't feel good, bro. Like it would have felt better had we just fired him last year, because last year it would have been like, yo, here we go again, bro. Like, we love you, but like every year it seems like when it's the biggest game of the season, we come out flat. Like, how many times we gonna do this? You know, so that would have felt. This don't feel great to me, if I'm being honest, yo. You know what I mean? It don't feel great.
I hate to say it, and we're not this type of organization to do it. First of all, I get what you're saying. Like, we might have fired John Harbaugh, and despite his record, this might have been one of his finer coaching jobs to hold this team together. It might have been. Like when you look at his past years, when everybody was healthy and great, then we're supposed to look like that. But this year, he really did have to hold the ship together with his bare hands. But at the same time, though, the thing about John Harbaugh is I love he's a leader of men. We need to get a leader of men in here, but we also need to have somebody who can game plan. John Harbaugh is not a game planner. John Harbaugh is a leader of men. I got or they gonna do their jobs and I'm gonna stay out of their way. And but you know what I'm saying? But I don't know how much John Harbaugh really put his hands on the actual X's and O's of a game being called. Like he lets the offensive coordinator do what the offensive coordinator does. Whereas though Mike Tomlin is more of the same, but Mike Tomlin is more like, no, we're not going downfield right now. You know what I'm saying? Look, we need to attack the middle of the field and we need to pound the game. So the coordinator knows to attack the middle of the field with certain plays and to pound the run. Whereas though John Harbaugh is just like, no, if my coordinator wants to do that, let him do that. That's why I hired my coordinator. John Harbaugh is that old school Bill Parcells. I pay you to do a job. You're an offensive coordinator, do the offensive coordinator job. You're the defensive coordinator, do the defensive coordinator job. Whereas though we might need a Pete Carroll. Whereas though, like, yes, I hired my offensive coordinator, but I needed to look like this offensive coordinator. I hired my defensive coordinator, but defensive coordinator, it needs to look like this, you know? And I just think John Harbaugh, it's a great thing if you're a coordinator because you don't have to worry about the coach breathing down your neck and you get the freedom. And guys like Mike McDonald, when he was here, he thrived with that type, you know? A lot of our coaches or coordinators go get coaching jobs because if you're a defensive coordinator for the Ravens, you're damn near a coach because John Harbaugh's not going to get in your way. So you're basically proving that you can run one half of a team by being a coordinator for the Ravens. I just think John Harbaugh should have his hands more on the game plan to where it's no when we ask him at the end of the games why he didn't give the ball to Derrick Henry, he knows why. You understand? When we ask him at the end of the game, why did you pass so much? It's more than, we're the game plan we put together. No, you need to tell us why you didn't run that ball with Derrick Henry. And we don't get a lot of that from John Harbaugh. Like I said, great coach. I honor him, deserve his roses. But we need a coach. Mike Tomlin ain't going to let a coordinator just do anything. That's dead. John Harbaugh will let a coordinator do anything. This is why I hired you, so do your job. So we just need a coach that with his hands more on the game plan and how it's being played. As far as being a leader of men, though, it might not be one better than John Harbaugh in that aspect of coaching. But he got to do a little bit more with the game plan. What up, Stan?
What's going on, y'all?
What's going on, Stan? Yeah, we were just talking about Harbaugh, giving Harbaugh his flowers, but talking about how it was time to move on. I actually asked Kurt this when we started, but like, where were you when the field goal missed? Like, where were you? Kind of describe your reaction.
So
he don't override nothing. He don't.
He doesn't.
No, so I'm watching it with our father. I went down there, watched the last 2 minutes with my father, whatever. And on the first of all, it's like Ronnie Stanley gets penalized for not lining up properly, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? It's like we're in game 18, you don't know how to line up. Okay, cool, whatever. He completes the pass to Likely. He completes the pass to Likely, and I thought we got him.
Yeah, I think we all did, man.
Yeah.
I thought that we got him, but then Lamar comes out and takes a knee, and we lose 2 yards. And I'm like, y'all got a whole lot of confidence in this kicker. For a guy that had never attempted a kick that mattered his entire football life, y'all got a lot of confidence in him. I personally would have taken a shot at the end zone.
No, I don't agree with that.
No, I would have taken. I
don't
would
agree
have
with
done
that.
one of two things. I would have taken a shot at the end zone.
Jonathan says he agrees. Jonathan agrees with you. Yeah.
We could have took a shot at the middle of the field. We could have took a shot. We had another timeout.
You had one timeout in 14 seconds. And this is why, and this is again goes back to why Harbaugh had to go. No feel for the game. You have to understand that you got a rookie kicker who has never attempted a kick of this magnitude in his fucking life. Mm-hmm. And you're just going to be okay with him. Again, that building, that stadium is weird for kickers.
What?
It has always been weird for kickers in that building. A 44-yard kick in that stadium with that much stuff on the line was not a gimme. And I knew it from the jump. Once they missed the extra point and made it to where we could win on the field goal, I was like, oh, here we go. And I remember in training camp when I said, where at that point, the only real concern I had with this roster was kicking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, little did I know we had a lot more problems with this team. But
Yep.
At that point, I'm like, yeah, Loop is making 60-yard kicks in training camp, but that don't really mean shit. It ain't gonna mean nothing until it's January. I gotta make a kick, and I need a kick made to win in Pittsburgh. Here we are, January, kick on the line, and he failed. And I had a sinking feeling when he lined up. I was like, he's gonna miss this fucking kick. I don't know why. I thought we had him, but as soon as Luke came out there, I saw Luke's body language. I was like, he's gonna miss this kick. This is a part of me that's like, he's going to miss this kick. And as soon as that ball was snapped, and that ball went off his foot, I knew it was going to be wide right. And I was like, he missed it. And I'm just like, it's a fitting end to what this season has been. Just disappointment after disappointment after disappointment. So,
yes. Yeah, Jonathan said, I agree with taking the field goal. I wish we took one more play before the kick. Here's the thing with that, though. So I hear what y'all are saying. I do. I hear what y'all are saying. But my thing is like this. Y'all are talking about taking another shot in the middle of the field. There's a lot of things that can go wrong by doing that.
That's true.
Specifically, a holding call, a false start call, a guy can't line up correctly on the line call. There's a lot of things that can go wrong when y'all try to take another shot down the middle of the field.
I understand that.
A tip ball that leads to an interception. Because if any of those things happen, we would then be saying, bro, why didn't you just take a knee? It's 44 yards. He hasn't missed a kick inside 50 the entire season. Just kneel it and kick the ball. I would rather take the knee, line it up perfectly, and say, boom, you got it. It's 44 yards. It's straight on. Just put it through the uprights. That is the safest, most appropriate thing to do in that situation. Like, honestly, if you run the football, the Steelers is on it. They be like, all right, they're gonna try to run and get more. We're gonna line up. And they might knock the running back backwards, and you lose yards. And it's not lined up straight. Line it up straight, 44 yards. Put it through the uprights. It's the right call.
I'm not disagreeing with you, Reggie. But like in hindsight, like at the time, of course, like we in Hinesville, you can't play around. You have to take the points when they give them to you. Mm-hmm. But in hindsight, looking back at it, like as a coach, your job is to put your team in the best way. And what do you mean, Brandon? Like Derrick Henry was beasting. Like Derrick Henry was beasting. Like
he was.
Like we could have ran a quick little RPO, see if Lamar could have got us 6 or 7 more yards. You know what I mean? Or see if we could have got another 5. And I get what you're saying. At the moment, yes. Get it in the middle of the field, Lamar. Down it. Call a timeout. Kick the field goal. Like 2 seconds left on the clock. Timeout. Good job, John Harbaugh. And in hindsight, looking at it, Luke wasn't ready for that. And that's and what Stan is saying is that's the difference between why John Harbaugh got to go. Because in that moment, yes, kick the field goal. But when you really think about it, like that was a lot to put on that young dude. 44 yards, last game in Pittsburgh. You ain't asking to do nothing memorable. You got to do whatever you can to make it easier. What if they get a holding call? Okay, what if he break up the yard for 15 yards and now that 44 yard is a 29 yard? You see what I'm saying? Which is a lot more manageable. So I mean,
Jonathan said I would have run it up the middle.
As a coach, though,
I get that.
Yeah, ran with Henry up the middle. As a coach, you got to be able to see that. Like in hindsight, we see it, but as a coach, you got to be able to see that right there on the field. That's what he was saying, like feel for the game. Like you got to be able to see that. And I get it, holding. Lamar might fumble and snap, and we lose. I get it.
And then y'all saying even worse, like, bro, just kneel the ball. That's what everybody would say if that happened. That's what everybody would say.
It's tough. As in hindsight, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm just saying that I personally would have liked to have seen us got a few more yards as opposed to having Lamar take a knee and lose yards. And took that 42-yard kick to a 40. Again, semantics, whatever. I don't care where that kick was. Luke was going to miss that kick, bro. And that's where I can understand what you're saying.
I'm gonna come back to you in a second, Stan. What Jonathan said is 100% fact. I've never been sold on Loop all year long. A lot of his kicks barely made it. This is something I've noticed all season long. Loop makes a lot of kicks, but they barely getting through the uprights. That happened a bunch of times this year. Absolutely, no question about it. But go ahead, Stan. Keep going.
But yeah, and Loop and early in that game, Loop got us a penalty. Got kicked the ball out of bounds. He was horrible on kickoffs this year. Awful. They're going to. I think that they're probably going to have to bring in another kicker in training camp.
Yep.
Yeah, of course. He kicked one out of bounds. He kicked one out of bounds.
He led the league in that. In those illegal kicks out of bounds this year. He had like 8 of them. It's like 3 more than any other kicker. He was not good on kickoffs, and he was shaky on those field goals. Again, yeah, he was good he was good between 4 in the 40s, but he was only 1 for 4 from 50. He never attempted a pressure kick this year. No game winners, no nothing. So, look, here's the thing. I'm not going to give up on him because he's still young. Just saying, Justin Tucker made a 40-yard kick in Denver in his rookie year to send us to the AFC Championship game.
Yep.
Just saying.
Sure did.
And at the end of the day, when it comes to these kickers, they either got it or you don't. I don't know if Loop has it. That's why I'm saying they're probably going to have to bring in another kicker in training camp. It's hard, man. Look, I hate putting games on the legs of these kickers, and we had such an advantage with Tucker because for all those years you just knew, dude. If Tucker was out there, if this was like 5 years ago and we needed that field goal to win the game, I'd have went to bed because I knew that field goal was going to. I knew that ball was going through the uprights.
Yeah, no
doubt. I said, I don't need to watch this. That ball's going right through the uprights.
No doubt.
If you want to keep it real, under 50, if that was Matt Stover, under 50, Matt Stover, I'm going to bed.
No doubt.
The ball's going through the uprights, and I know that, and that's a luxury that we had for so many years with Stover and then Tucker. Those gap years that we had Graham Gano and he missed a kick in Minnesota, and then of course Billy Cundiff. We know what he did. Yeah. It's tough, man. These kickers, I just hate to have these games ride on these kickers. And Lamar played his ass off in that fourth quarter and won the fucking game twice. Won the game twice. Only for the defense only for the 3 times, really. Only for the defense to cough it up, and then Luke missed a kick. It just at the end of the day, it's just I thought when I saw Luke come on the field and I looked at him, I said, he's gonna miss this kick. And again, you either got it or you don't. And these kickers, that's pretty much what it comes down to. They either got it or they don't. And I'm not sure Loop has it. Again, I can't write him off because he's a rookie, but they're gonna have to bring somebody in to challenge him in training camp, especially when it comes to the kickoffs, because he was terrible on kickoffs this year.
Yeah, Jonathan.
This might be the they got to get their ass bust. The rookies got to get their ass bust. They got to fall. This could be like the moment that propelled him to being a great kicker. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it take for him to fall, for him to stand up.
I don't think so. So Jonathan said Luke one and done or keep, and he also said he wants him gone. and he said that Stan called it too. Stan did call. He said the Ravens win for game-winning field goal. So he said it was going to come down to a last-minute field goal. It's just that the result wasn't what you predicted. But look, I don't think so, Kurt. I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. I think we got to move on. I know it sounds crazy because he missed one kick, but I've seen this a bunch of times. I've seen it a bunch of times, dog, where kickers just go south mentally. They miss a big one and they just go south. And they can be good kickers, and then all of a sudden it's just gone. Remember that dude we had signed, Steve Hoshka? Remember him? He was solid. Then all of a sudden he just went south mentally, couldn't make nothing, and we had to release him. And then he goes to Seattle, is a good kicker again. So I'm not saying the kid can't.
Same thing with Graham Gano. Graham Gano was a Ravens draft pick, and he was the kicker after Stover, and he missed that kick in Minnesota. We lost the game in Minnesota. I forget what year it was. It was the last year. It was the year the Brett Favre's first year in Minnesota. Mm-hmm. And we lost a tough game in Minnesota because he missed the kick. And we released Gano, and Gano went on to become a pretty good pro kicker.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a mental thing with kickers. Again, we saw it with Tucker in his last year. He just started missing kicks that he was banging, blindfold. He was just missing.
What's the dude with the big nose, yo? When we was younger in high school, he was kicking for Tampa Bay. He was a monster, and then he just fell off the mat.
I can't think of his name. Yeah, I remember him. Oh, what's that?
He had the big nose, yo.
Yeah.
Gramatica.
Yeah.
Martin Gramatica. He was a monster for like 6 straight years. He was knocking down everything, and then he had one bad thing happen in Tampa Bay. He fell off, and then he went to Arizona and missed like 6 field goals in a year. And they cut him like after the first 7 games.
Yeah.
So it can happen bad for kickers.
Yeah,
kickers are. That's the job, man. Unfortunately, that's the job. You have one job: put the ball through the uprights, and you either do it or you don't. You know what I'm saying? And look, I'm not going to sit here and beat them up because again, it's easy for us, out of shape niggas who sitting at home saying, "Man, you should have made that kick." It's a 44-yard kick in Pittsburgh. It's cold. Division's on the line, season's on the line. That's a lot of pressure.
That's the
job.
But that is the job. That is the job. You're a kicker. You have one job: put the ball through the uprights.
Yep,
that's it.
Through the uprights. That's your job. You don't got to tackle nobody. You ain't got to start game plans. You ain't got to figure out how to beat the cover 2 defense. You ain't got to figure out how to do any of that shit. All you got to do is put the ball through the uprights. Keep the ball through the uprights. That's it. So I don't know about Loop. I think they're gonna have to bring in another kicker in training camp to challenge him or see, because again, the kickoffs was a problem for us this year, and again, missing that kick. Again, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna sit here and say he cost us the game. That was just the last play of the game.
Yep.
He didn't cost us the game. The defense gawking up the lead twice cost us the game.
Yep, Jonathan just said penalties cost us more than that kick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like. Lamar had to convert a 4th and 7 because fucking Stanley couldn't line up properly.
Right.
So it's like, again, this team has just been. It was a fitting end to the season. At the end of the day, I mean, look, I think it's hilarious. Pittsburgh fans were just jumping up and down like they won the fucking Super Bowl. Like, great, you guys won, bro. Y'all won. Y'all beat an 8-8 Ravens team. Congratulations.
Well, they won, dog. I mean,
good for them. Good for them. Like, good for them.
Ravens Steelers, y'all. The record don't matter. Ravens Steelers, man.
But they beat a mediocre. They beat a mediocre Ravens team. Period. This was a mediocre football team. Fuck them. I don't care about that, man.
I'm watching Miami versus Ole Miss, right? The college game.
Yep.
Kicker come out there, kick a 50-something yarder. You know what the commentator said? I bet the Ravens wish they would have had him. I'm not lying to you. He really said that. The commentator said that in the Miami Ole Miss game.
Yeah.
They watched a sophomore kicker nail a 50-yarder in a bowl game.
Yep.
And he said that.
Yeah, when you see guys in the league now making 50, 60-yard kicks like they're nothing, like the dude in the kicker for what team is it? I can't remember the team.
The one that made the 60-something yard.
Jacksonville made a 60-something yard kick, and I mean made it like it was easy.
Yeah,
that's becoming a norm now. And if you got, and again with Loop, again he was 1 for 4 from 50 plus. That's a problem. So because now you get with Tucker. If it was like when we would get to midfield, we knew he was in his range.
Yep.
And really, when you losing by 2 points, 3 points, they come back to bite you. So they're going to have to evaluate. Well, look, they're going to have to evaluate a lot of things of his team.
Yeah.
You know, letting the coach go was just the first piece. They got a lot of problems on this team, and a lot of guys who will not be back on this team next year, who shouldn't be back on this team next year. I know you probably haven't got to that part yet, but
yeah, we'll get to
Well,
that.
we getting there.
I'm gonna say one more. We can get there next. I want to say one more thing about Luke, and then I'm gonna move on because I know we beating the kid up. But like, the thing is, I feel like firing Harbaugh makes it even worse on the kid because now he's like, me missing that kid got the coach fired. That makes it even
Lamar. It was Lamar.
That's fine. But I don't know if it's me and I missed that kick and then I see my coach get fired, I'm gonna say shit, bro. If I just made that kick, man, he still have his job.
He can't do that. He can't do that because at the end of the day, the coach didn't get fired because.
But that's where my mind would go.
I'm sure mentality is that way, but people gotta get to him and say, look, you didn't cost Harbaugh's job. Harbaugh cost himself the job. At the end of the day, Harbaugh was gonna get fired regardless if that ball went through the uprights or not. Unless this team had gone on a miraculous run in January to the Super Bowl, John was out the door. This is not just about that game. This is about an entire season, the last couple of years of this team coming up short. And at some point, look, it wasn't Lamar Jackson either. It wasn't Luke. It wasn't Lamar. This was Steve Bisciotti waking up on a Tuesday morning and saying, I'm firing the coach.
Yep.
That's just what it is. Because from everything that you've heard, John expected to come back for the season. His coaching staff expected to come back. He wanted to run this whole shit back next year. And I'm just like, no. And I'm sure Steve said, no, we cannot run this back.
Yeah.
This has been too many years of me watching this team come up short and clutch moments coming up short. Change has to come.
Got a couple comments from Jonathan. I want to run these in real quick here. The Lennebaum hole when Lamar ran was supposed to be put. Yep, that was a big play. Lamar was scrambling and he held an unnecessary hold, and that would have been points because we was right.
First play of the game when Derrick Henry break it out, Zay Flowers hit the man legally, and they call a block on Zay Flowers legally. The first play of the game, Derrick Henry break up 40 yards.
Yeah, the penalties have been a problem with this team for years, and again, that goes back to coaching. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Luke can't sit there and say, well, I cost, maybe not. Again, whether that ball had gone through the uprights or not, I believe if our season ended on a loss, John was out the door. I think Bisciotti had made his mind up that we've reached the end of the road here.
Yeah.
So I can't. Again, he can't think that. I mean, I understand that mentally you're going to go there because you're like, well, we won the game. The coach would have got fired. No, the coach was going to get fired regardless.
I mean, you give him a chance though. You win the game against Houston or something, and then some weird stuff happens where we have a little bit of a run. Maybe they don't fire Harbaugh. So that's where my mind would go. I can't lie. That's the first. What I would be thinking.
I understand that.
Yeah. I was hurt more with being swept by them. Yeah, that's the thing. Losing to Pittsburgh twice, man. Like, yeah.
It's just a lot of things I think that just added up to this season being a complete failure and a time to move on from the coach.
Right.
A 3-6 home record is unacceptable.
It's bad. It's true. It's true.
You cannot go 3-6 at home. Unacceptable. Losing to Pittsburgh twice this year, unacceptable.
Yeah. And we had some bad blowouts too. Like we got blown out by the Houston. We got blown out by Detroit.
We had nobody in that Houston game. That was the three amigos in that
yeah, we had seven guys active that day. That was an aberration. But what happened against Cincinnati? I think John lost his job with the first Pittsburgh loss and the New England loss. Those were two games that we should have won.
I got no defense for the New England loss. I have no defense.
The New England loss was indefensible. With the Derrick Henry thing, that's why I think he got fired. That's when I think Steve said, "What the fuck is going on here?" Mm-hmm. Because of
why not give Derrick Henry the ball, yo?
I think that was the game. I think where Steve said, "What is going on here? Why is my $15 million running back now on the field right now? I got to have an answer to this." Yeah. And I'm sure the answer that John gave was not an answer that he accepted.
Yep.
was like, John, that's not good enough, man. You can't sit here and tell me about a rotation. This is not Pee Wee football. This is not no, man. You can't talk about rotation. When he said that shit, that's when I was like, yeah, he's done. I think he was done at that point. And I think the only thing Steve was probably saying, unless this team goes on a miraculous run and gets to the Super Bowl, we got to make a change. We got to go a different direction.
And we did break off like 3 or 4 in a row, and I think that's what kept his job for real.
The man said Henry wasn't Henry's turn. Get him out. Yeah, I'm like when he said the turn, it wasn't Derrick Henry's. I was like, yeah, John, I can't, bro. Like, what are we doing?
I can't imagine that's what he said to Steve Bisciotti. I can't imagine if Steve Bisciotti probably said, John, what the fuck, bro? Why was my $15 million running back now on the field when we just scored? And John probably gave an answer and said, that's the wrong answer, bro. No, that's not the right answer. You can't sit here and tell me about rotations and it was Keaton's turn. No, man. That's where a coach has to step up and go to the OC and say, get Derrick Henry in the game.
That's what right there.
And that's why we have to move on. Because you cannot, as a head coach, can you imagine Andy Reid sitting there saying to his offensive coordinator, oh, it's Keaton's turn? All right, cool. No, he would say, get Derrick Henry the fuck in the game. Get Derrick Henry back in the game. We got to close this game out. We just gave up a 7-play touchdown drive in less than 2 minutes to these guys. We got to get some first downs. And this guy and the Patriots could not tackle Derrick Henry. That's where I think he lost the team, and that's why I think he lost his job.
You remember the years back where we had Big Gus in the backfield, and we tried the quarterback keeper with Huntley in the playoff game, and he fumbled on the 1 yard line. Like when Steve Bisciotti asked you, like you said, this shit been going on. Steve Bisciotti probably asked him then, like, yo, we got one of the best short yardage running backs in the NFL. Why would you decide to go with Huntley over the pile?
Yeah, he probably said 5 foot Tyler Huntley. He's going to turn Superman. Yeah, 5'5" Tyler Huntley's going to just turn to Superman, leap over the pile, and get that was the dumbest, and that's what got Greg Roman fired. That play got there. That's what got Greg Roman fired.
Yeah, probably.
But again, it got to a point where John, you just can't keep firing coordinators, man. You keep firing coordinators and replace. We've had 14 different coordinators under John Harbaugh, offensive and defensive. We've had 14.
Well, we've had about 4 or 5 of them become coaches, though.
Yeah, and that's true. A couple of them did become coaches when they left, but he had to fire Greg Roman. He had to fire Cam Cameron. Now, there was always been an urban legend that was a Bisciotti call, but John has denied that. So in the Super Bowl year, the story was that Bisciotti called Harbaugh after that Washington game. Like you remember the Washington game, and told him you can't. Cameron got to go. We got to go a different direction. Offensive coordinator. John has denied that, but I think that's what happened.
Hey yo, and Jim Caldwell came in and we caught fire.
Yep.
Yeah. So again, he didn't know when to get away from certain coordinators. And the fact that he was willing to run this back next year, that was the story. Now, I don't know if that was Bisciotti saying you were fired a coordinator, we're firing you. I don't know if that happened or not, but that's the story. I think Bisciotti just said, we got to go in a different direction. Yeah. Again, these owners are crazy, man. I'm telling you, these owners, they just wake up one day and say, I want to fire the coach. Like Arthur Blank was hugging Rasheed Morris after the Falcons won Sunday, and 2 hours later he fired him.
that's some Godfather stuff there.
Like he was hugging the man, congratulating him on his win.
That's some Michael Corleone stuff there.
Yeah, finished the season out strong. 2 hours later, he fired him and he fired the GM. McDaniel was talking Monday about how he was going to be involved in the Dolphins GM search, and then 3 days later he got fired.
He fired him, yeah. These
owners, man, they goofy. They're crazy. These rich billionaires are crazy, and that's what I'm saying. The Ravens probably have the best attractive job that's open right now of all the teams that are open because it's a stable franchise. Again, we've only had 3 coaches in the 30-year history of the franchise.
Yep.
The owner isn't crazy. He's not going to fire you after 1 year or 2 years like we've seen in all these other teams where he just fired a coach. How many coaches is Mark Davis paying right now?
Yeah.
They fired
Pete
Pete
Carroll.
Carroll. He's there for 1 year.
Yep.
How many coaches is Davis is he paying? Probably 3 of them.
Yeah, and
And ain't even one of them on the sideline either.
Yeah, these owners are fucking crazy, bro. But I think like we don't have a crazy owner.
yeah.
Steve doesn't step in until it's time to step in, and he knew that this was time to step in. He's like, I gotta get off the yacht, and I gotta make some decisions.
That's
And
probably what happened.
He got off the yacht Tuesday morning, went down to Owens Mills, and made the right call.
Hey, right now, like, John, what we doing? John, like, well, you know what? We're shooting up and we're bringing everybody back next year. And Steve Bisciotti, like, you know what? I'll be back. Hey, babe, I'll be back. Come on.
He got around the yacht.
Yeah.
Took the drive up to Owens Mills and said, "No, we're not running this back, John.
Yeah.
We gotta go in a different direction." And look, John's been a great coach. Again, won a Super Bowl. This team has been perennially competitive, and his whole time he was here, we only had maybe one real lull, and that was the 2015, 16, 17. But the reality is the reality, man. And I went through this on Facebook on somebody's Facebook post about this, where I just laid out our playoff history on the John Harbaugh. And it was like, holy shit. I said, this is from 2010. Again, 2010. Had a 21-7 lead against Pittsburgh in the divisional round, lost the game on the 3rd and 17 conversion to Roethlisberger to Antonio Brown.
Bro, we went up against the Patriots one year. We was up 21 twice in one game.
2011, 2016 lead against the Patriots in the AFC title game. Gave up a touchdown, and that was the Billy Cundiff game. 2014 had 2 14-point leads on the Patriots. Blew it.
Yeah, that's the year. That's the Deflategate year.
Yeah. And 2017, me and Reggie was in the building for New Year's Eve. All we had to do was win, get in the playoffs. 4th and 15 to Tyler Boyd. This is in 2016. Had a 27-24 lead in Pittsburgh on Christmas Day. Again, me and Reggie, Kelly's homegirl Jessica, watching the game. And they gave up the fucking Antonio Brown lunges over the goal line and at the last second on the last play. Lost the game. Our playoff history is littered with just coming up short. And at some point, enough's enough, man. At some point, you can't just say, well, 2012. 2012, we win the Super Bowl because of a Denver cornerback forgot how to cover. Let's just keep it a buck.
I mean, yeah, but that's football.
That's just keep it a buck.
Yeah.
I understand how football works.
Don't do that, man.
I'm not trying to, no, don't get me wrong. I'm not diminishing that Super Bowl because that was Joe Flacco's coming out party. But let's keep it a buck. That game was over in Denver.
It was.
And it was a miracle play. A miracle play.
But I mean, you can do that all day, bro. Like how many of them New England Super Bowls where it was like, all right, they should have lost. Like, Pete Carroll runs the football with beast mode. That's one Super Bowl off the table.
Man, David Tyree got known for one catch.
Look,
one helmet.
Exactly.
Luck plays a lot
of part of it, bro. Yeah, that's part of football.
Luck plays, and we just haven't had the luck over the last few years. And I think at some point you just look at it and you say, why is this team coming up short in these big moments? Why in 2019 we had the number 1 rushing offense in the league and we were setting all kinds of records and we chucking the fucking football all around against Tennessee?
Yeah.
How is it in the AFC Championship game against Kansas City? Number 1 rushing attack in the league. We're chucking the ball over the field in a 7-point game.
Yeah.
This comes back to coaching, and this comes back to coaching has cost us time and time again. And at some point, you gotta make a change. So I love John Harbaugh. I was as big of a John Harbaugh supporter that you were going to find. But even I, in the last couple of years, had to say it's time to move on.
But it's weird. It's weird though, because as much as I agree with John Harbaugh being fired, it's like I don't hate him though. Normally, when your team get rid of your coach, it's like, yo, get him the hell out of there. I don't necessarily feel like that with John Harbaugh. I feel like thank you, John, but it's just time to go. You know,
Yeah,
I just
and it
think like
happened.
it's just time to move on. I don't
Yeah,
have no hard feelings towards him.
and I haven't liked a lot of stuff that I've seen online. People saying about John. I was like, y'all motherfuckers got short memory.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
again, how many teams in the leagues had an 18-year run where
Right.
only 3 losing seasons, all these playoff appearances? We've had our chances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the NFL, when things can roster turnover and all that stuff that happens in the NFL, to be that consistently competitive,
You gotta
can't
give him
ask for
credit.
anything more. You can't. I'm not going to sit here and dump on the man. I take no joy in this happening. Trust me, I tell people, I was saying this all the time. I'd rather be playing the game this weekend than be talking about firing the coach.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We should be
Right.
playing the game this weekend. We should be playing on Monday night, hosting the Texans. Instead, we're talking about firing the coach. I'd rather be playing the game. So I take no joy in this happening. But it's one of those. Trust me, I know more than anybody where relationships and things like that, they just run their course.
They just run their course. Yeah.
And sometimes it's just time to move on, and that's just where we are with John. And again, he'll do great as the coach of the Giants or the coach of whoever he wants to coach. He'll be able to go wherever he wants to go.
Wow.
And he can go he'll go to the Giants and he'll turn them around in 1 year.
It's like when they replace Bob Barker at The Price is Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, we appreciate you. You've been here for years, but give Drew Carey some time. You know, it's time for you. Bob, we love you. You just can't do it no more. You can't afford another facelift. You know what I'm saying? So we're just gonna let Drew Carey have it. And that's basically what it is. We still love you, Bob Barker. We still love you, John Harbaugh. Unless you go coach an AFC North team, then we're gonna have a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He ended up in Cleveland, we're gonna have a problem.
And there is an AFC North team right now that doesn't have a coach right now.
The Browns.
It could be two. It could be two, depending on what happens Monday night. Y'all saw what he was asking for whoever hires him? No, what's he asking for?
He probably wants
total control. He's asking for like $20 million a year. He's asking for complete control over basically he's asking for complete control over the team.
Wow.
And
that's not gonna be.
I
mean, he got the power to ask for it. He
got the power to ask for it because again, he's got a Super Bowl ring.
You know,
there aren't a ton of active coaches that have won the Super Bowl, so he can ask for that. Whether he gets that,
you know what?
Might.
The Browns will give it to him. The Browns will give it to him.
No, I don't think the Browns would. I think
the Giants wouldn't do it.
I think the Browns would do it.
I think the Browns is too stuck on being stupid to actually risk something that good for an organization. Like
they gave $100 million to the massage parlor minutes though. They'll take a chance.
The Browns.
Hold on. He wasn't known as he wasn't known as the Parlor Menace before the trade, bro.
Yeah, he was.
That's right. He did. You're right.
They gave a $260 million guaranteed contract to Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
When that stuff was going on, this team has done some dumb shit. So it would not. They would be the team that would be desperate enough to tell John whatever you want. But then it's like Haslam is a crazy owner.
Yeah.
Again, this is another guy who just fired his coach.
No staff.
He deserves it.
Stefanski had 2 Coach of the Year awards. Was the coach of the Browns when they went 11-6 and looked like they won a playoff game. He's the coach of the team. They won their only playoff game they've won in the last 3 decades. And they fired Stefanski, and it's like, dude, I've had 2 6-round picks as a quarterback this year.
Exactly. But
what
meanwhile,
do?
So they fired a coach, but then meanwhile, the general manager that gave the massage parlor Menace all that money still keeps his job.
It's still there. I don't understand it.
If you're gonna fire him, fire both. Fire the GM as well. It doesn't make sense.
And that's another discussion that we probably should have. We may not have time to about the Costas. I think the Costas should have been fired.
Yeah.
No.
I'm sorry.
No, yo, no. I think the Costas done a great job. When you think of considering that money that we got to pay them
job.
Yeah, Listen, this year's the only year. This is the only year where we've lacked the pass rush. This is the
No, it's
only
not.
year.
No, it's
About
not. We
all
didn't have
of
a go ahead, go ahead.
think about all of the injuries that we've had. We've lost a top 2 or 3 defensive linemen, interior linemen, probably for his career. Okay, like, bro, him filling the roster is not the problem. And the problem
Yeah,
is
it is.
we have Zachary Orr as a defensive coordinator, a guy that
No.
lead Jamar Chase one-on-one with Marlon Humphreys all night. The man gave up half a stat and 4 touchdowns in 2 games, and you still playing him one-on-one. Like Zachary Orr is a listen. Mike McDonald, you could name any of them. Dane P. Just like I said, you give any of our last coordinators in the last 5 or 6 defensive coordinators we had, and that's a monster defense, bro. Like Zachary Orr messed that money up, bro. He just straight up. We have no pass rush. We do a zone blitz. When the zone blitz don't work, we just drop back in zone and just rush forward, and the quarterback sits back there and does this. Like Zachary Orr is probably the worst defensive coordinator we've ever had.
Or should be
when you
going.
look at
He
that,
should
when
be
you look
going.
at the horses that we gave this man has Nate Wiggins. This man has Roquan up the middle. He has Kyle on the outside. Bro, Marlon Humphreys. How can us look at the TV screen and see that Marlon can no longer cover on the outside? We see that. Everybody sees that, except for him. Like he just keep putting Marlon out there. When we know Marlon is better in the slot. Okay, if we're gonna get beat on the outside with a Woozier, at least we know Marlon got to cover the slot. That slot, those little trail routes, Marlon does those. That's where we should have him. Instead, we have him outside or Jamar Chase one-on-one. Bro, we get scorched. Listen, bro. Aaron Rodgers has absolutely no wide receivers, bro. Not one. And they went out there and scorched us with Gainwell the whole game. Gainwell won that game for them, bro. Out the backfield. Just keep on dumping in the flats and getting 7 yards. Dumping in the flats, getting 7 yards. Dumping in the flats, getting 8 yards. Dumping in the flats, getting 8. And nobody said nothing. Nobody made an adjustment for Gainwell the whole game. That's defensive coordinating, bro. That is not about players not knowing nothing. That's about a defensive coordinator that says, I don't care that he gets that the whole game. And they broke our backs with it. And that's what's been happening to us defensively. It is not the players. I think Trent Simpson has a lot of potential. I like what Travis Johnson did the second half of the season. When we added Hillman and we freed up Kyle Hamilton, it helped. But, bro, we have one of the worst defensive coordinators we've ever had. You give this defense to Rex Ryan, ain't coached defense in years. Give Rex Ryan that defense this year and see what we look different.
I bet it don't.
I bet we do.
I bet it
don't either. Yo, this defense got holes in it, bro. Like, again, it's holes. They didn't address. They didn't. No.
This is the first year we didn't have a pass rush.
Those 2 guys that the Costas let leave. A couple years ago, the 2023 team that went to the AFC Championship game, we had Javion Clowney and we had Kyle Van Noy. 2 guys they picked up off the scrap heap in August, and that's why we led the league in sacks that year. They let Clowney go to fucking Carolina because they didn't want to pay him. They let Calais Campbell leave because they didn't want to pay him. They thought he was too old. He was still making plays in Arizona this year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, listen, I'm not mad.
They paid Roquan Smith all that money, and they didn't bring back Patrick Queen. Didn't make an offer to him. He goes to Pittsburgh out of spite because he could have got more money. But he went to Pittsburgh out of spite because we did not offer him a deal.
Yo, I mean, he's playing good in Pittsburgh, but he's not
garbage this year. Roquan's been terrible this year. No play making at all. He's just been a guy back there making $20 million a year, tackling on the back end.
Well, what I'm saying is this. This is what I'm saying. Number one, he's gonna struggle as a linebacker because we didn't have any representation on the D line this year. Once Matabike went down, Travis was hurt early in the season. There's a 5 or 6 game window where we had nothing but inexperience across the front 3 or 4 of our line. Okay, so a linebacker like Roquan, like even Ray struggled without linebackers. Ray used to always say, "Use me right." Like we didn't have no linemen. This is the first year that we didn't have a pass rush, and our pass rush got hurt. Matabike, first 2 games of the year, he had 2 sacks in the first 2 games of the year. Then he broke his career. Okay, like so. What I'm saying to you is, I don't think DeCosta is the problem. I don't. He gave us Isaiah Likely. He gave us Zay. Think about it. He gave us Zay Flowers. He gave us Likely. He gave us Kyle Hamilton. He gave us Nate Wiggins. Like he's giving us great players, bro. It's just that great players don't mean nothing if they're not being handled right. Roquan Smith is not a zone linebacker. It's just not going to happen. You asking Roquan Smith, the thumper of all thumpers, to sit in the middle of the field and play between the tight end and the backfield, we're going to get fucked up all day, dog. Because that's not what he do. He's a heat-seeking missile that you let run across the field. So, of course, Roquan going to struggle when you asking him to do something he's never done. Like, come on, bro. We had Patrick Queen beside him to play those tight ends. We've had Trent Simpson beside him and other guys beside him to play those linebackers. No, Zachary Orr said, nah, yo, you got to be Ray Lewis this year. Out of nowhere, you got to stop being Brian Urlacher and become Ray Lewis. This year, it's not going to happen. And then you got Kyle Hamilton, who could play everywhere, right? We got Kyle Hamilton that could, so we use Kyle Hamilton, right? The way we use him, right? But who's back there to help Marlon on the outside? We put Kyle Hamilton on the line, right? And leaving Marlon Humphrey's old ass one-on-one on the outside. And we wonder why it seems like the defense ain't working. That's why.
Well, Humphrey's
I love Kyle Hamilton being moved everywhere. Zachary Orr is the problem, bro.
Look, Kurt,
Zachary Orr is the problem.
Kurt,
we can't beat you with 4. We don't even blitz.
What Jonathan says here is the problem, though, dog. The terrible pass rush makes everyone else's job harder because the QB is making picks in the backfield. That's the bottom line, bro. Like you can't blame. That's not even the coordinator. If you can't get any rush on the quarterback without blitzing,
that's a problem. And these are guys that the Costas drafted.
Exactly.
Mike Green was a guy they drafted. Everybody said that's a steal. Dude,
I thought he was.
No impact. Nope. You know, David Ajabu is his biggest flop. A guy that they took in the mid-round has made no impact on the team at all. And this was a guy that they say was a steal in the draft because he fell because he hurt himself. And they took him in the 5th fucking round. He's been an absolute zero. Can't get on the field. You know, they have not addressed Russian linebackers that can get to the quarterback. They haven't addressed it. They knew they had that problem last year in the draft, and they drafted another fucking safety. And then traded for another safety this year. They traded the one guy they said was supposed to be the pass rusher for another safety.
But hit me out though, Stan. He tried. We tried, bro. If we put Matabike, let's not act like we didn't lose a top 5 defensive lineman. You put Matabike in the middle of that lineup. You put Matabike. But what I'm saying is, we don't have to worry about. They don't have to worry about double teaming nobody. You put Matabike on that line, he automatically draws a double team. Now you start to get these single coverages on the outside. Now you start to get those. I mean, I'm not saying that David DeCosta is the greatest GM, but he's not the problem. The problem for especially our defense, bro, is Zachary Orr, bro. He is a terrible coordinator. I get what y'all saying. If you can't rush without blitzing, we in a 3-4, so we got to send an extra man to blitz anyway.
Yeah.
So have to anyway. So it ain't like we just rushing with our linemen anyway. So if you're in a 3-4 If you're in a 3-4 and you can't scheme up how to hide a blitz, then you should not be a fucking coordinator. 3-4 is the blitzing scheme.
I'm not disagreeing with you about Zach Gore. I think he should not be the defensive coordinator. He cannot be the defensive coordinator next year. Just not. But at the same time, like I said, team building is a big problem with this organization and has been for the last couple of years. Again, you know that you don't have a pass rusher on the edge, and you have a number 1 pick, and you draft another safety.
I mean, it's the best player. It's the best player available.
That best player available shit don't work no more when you need help. That best player available crap don't work when you need specific help. Don't work. You know what you need. You don't have you. We have not had a dominant rush in since Terrell Suggs left. That's a fact. We have not had a dominant guy. We've had some guys come in, like I said, Clowney and Van Noy came in and he did well. But we have not had that dominant, game-changing guy since Suggs was in his prime. We haven't drafted a defensive tackle since Haloti Ngata in the first round.
Wow.
We have not drafted a defensive tackle in the first round since Haloti Ngata.
Let me ask you a question, Stan. Let me ask you a question. We're not talking about this year. We're talking about 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Not this year that just passed. 2 years ago, okay? Safety was our biggest issue. This year we didn't have a pass rush. But the year before this year, we had pass rush. We had pass rush by committee. We might didn't have one guy giving us 13 sacks like Suggs, but we had one guy giving us 8, one guy giving us 6, one guy giving us 7, and we put that behind Matabike, who was the man. Last year, going into this season, we needed more help and from a safety than we did going into this year. Not watching this year play out, yes, we need a pass rush bad. But when you go by the game that ended, going in, I would think we needed Malachi Starks more. And it's hard to find a Suggs. You know how hard it is to find a guy that can give you 13, 15 sacks a game? That's hard, Stan.
They've used first round picks in the last couple of years on the secondary. Drafted another corner, drafted another safety. And that safety was so ineffective they had to go trade their own. They had to go trade the only guy on their team that was getting any kind of pressure. They had to trade him to get another safety.
True.
And what did Oweh do? Oweh went to the Chargers and was getting sacks.
You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying?
No.
He could not get a sack in Baltimore.
That Zach Gore is not the problem. Zach Gore is definitely a problem.
Okay.
I'm not saying that.
Hire him too.
But what I'm saying is that DeCostas has failed to provide and draft and sign guys that can help them get to the quarterback. And this team building, the way they build the team has been just draft corners, draft safeties. And it's like, how's that working out for us? If we had to trade the only guy that was getting any pressure to get another safety in the middle of the fucking season.
Yeah, but hear me out, Stan. Watch this. We brought in Jadeveon Clowney to get sacks. We brought in Kyle Van Noy to get sacks. We brought in Roquan Smith to show up the middle of the field so people can't run up the gut like they was doing on Patrick Queen. Like, we brought guys in, bro. He has. I just feel like this year was just a bad year, period, for us. But I don't think DeCosta is the problem. This is not just about this year. This has been paying the wrong guys, paying Derrick Henry what you paid him, paying Roquan what you paid him. Roquan Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I'm confused with that one.
Is not a $20 million. I'm not saying anything bad about the Henry side, but then they paid him, and then what was Derrick Henry doing when we needed him the most? Sitting on the fucking sidelines.
Well, that's not on DeCosta.
That's not on DeCosta, of course. That's on the coach. But they have paid the wrong guys.
Roquan Smith, this is the only bad year that Roquan Smith had when they asked him to do stuff he's never done. This is the only bad year he had.
Yeah. Wasn't that great last year either, man. He was not a $20 million. He was not a $20 million linebacker this year. Period. He was not.
Agreed.
He was not. He was not an
Agreed.
impact player at his position. He was not for what he's being paid. Marlon Humphrey, they paid him a few years ago. He is no longer a premier cornerback in the NFL.
But he took pay cut the last 2 years, Stan.
I'm just saying that this organization, like they gave Jair Alexander $4 million. This nigga played one game and was done. They trade. I had such high hopes for Jair Alexander getting healthy, being that guy in the backfield helping the secondary, and he played one game and got his ass completely burned by Buffalo and was gone. They traded him for a 5th round pick to Philly, and he never played for Philly. Now he's retired.
But Stan, what I'm saying is that's what we've always done.
They've always.
That's what Ozzie Newsome's done. We brought in an old Samari Rolle, right? We brought in an old Derek Mason. We always draft young and bring in veterans
and
that
those guys were productive. Jair Alexander was not.
No, we tried. Well, Cal Van Noy has been productive.
He went productive this year.
What I'm saying, because there is nobody to draw the double team.
When they brought him and Clowney in a couple years ago, they were very productive, and then they let Clowney leave because they thought he was too old. They didn't want to give him no money. This is the problem that I'm saying. They have not addressed the lines. That's where these games are won. That's where championships are won, on the line, in the trenches, offensive, defensive line. This team has not built the lines properly, and that's why we're at home. That's why we're at home. I agree. Because they have not invested in the lines. And yes, I know the Metabuke injury was bad, but they did not give him backup to cover that. They did not draft well on the line. They drafted on the offensive line. Why the fuck was Daniel Faalele still playing at the end of the season?
Oh my God. We ain't had no choice.
Why?
We ain't had no choice.
Yeah.
I swear to God, when he got hurt, again, I don't like celebrating guys getting injured. I don't like celebrating guys getting injured. But I was so glad when Emory Jones came in. I was like, why wasn't Emory Jones playing? You can't tell me he would not have been any worse than what Faalele. Faalele was god awful. The problem with this team has been that Lamar has made the offensive line look a lot better because Lamar is a magician back there. That line is trash. Has been trash. Lamar has made it look a lot better.
I ain't gonna say it's trash.
That line is fucking trash.
It's been trash, bro.
That line is fucking trash.
I would say that. I would say they're trash.
Maybe average. We got Stanley, Linderbaum. Those are 2 Pro Bowl caliber linemen, bro. Now,
Linderbaum was average this year. Has done all those guys made dumbass penalties throughout the year, holding penalties at the wrong time, can't line up properly. Faalele was a disaster in that position. A disaster.
Yes, he was.
He was a disaster. Yes, they've got some guys there. Rosengardner was good until down the stretch. Linderbaum's a good look. Linderbaum is good, but in a contract year, I didn't think he was as impactful as he should have been in a contract year. Now they got to figure out what they're going to do with him. I mean, I look at the lines on this team, and this is where we've been losing games. And not just this year. It's been the last couple years. Every time we went up against a team with a strong line, we got pushed around. I can think of the Philadelphia game a couple years ago. We got pushed around by their line. We couldn't protect Lamar against a defensive line, and we couldn't make any inroads on the offensive line.
Yeah.
We have struggled because the lines have not been invested in. And DeCostas needs to invest in the lines this offseason, or his ass needs to be out the door.
We did invest. We just took a chance for Faalele, nigga. Yo, what's the other dude? On the offensive line, bro. He went to USC, and he broke his leg, so he dropped in the draft, and we drafted him. Ain't it Rosenberg, right? Rosengarten, right? Is that the one that comes from USC?
I don't know. We played at USC, but
It's one of
they
them
got
drafted.
they have
Voorhees.
got Voorhees. Voorhees was god awful.
Voorhees. That's what it was.
These guys, they are not athletic enough to pass block. They're good run blockers. Don't get me wrong. Fa'alele is a decent run blocker.
Yeah.
And these guys can block, they can run block. But when it comes to pass, they're not athletic enough to be good pass blockers. And that's why we've struggled this year, because Lamar is having to run around and pull plays out of his ass. And you can't continuously depend on your quarterback to make plays happen because you can't block.
Because you can't block, right.
They have got to invest in these lines. Period.
I give you that.
The conference has failed to invest in the lines. That's why we're at home.
Can we also talk about the ridiculous Cooper Rush signing as the backup quarterback? Like, how ridiculous is that signing, dude? Like,
they gave that motherfucker $6 million. They gave him $6 million, and he was the most expensive emergency quarterback in the league this year, because that's what he was down the stretch. And again, this is one of those situations where, again, John has to sit there and look and say, Huntley's on the team and Huntley knows the offense. Huntley's the closest thing we have to Lamar. Why are we playing this fucking Cooper Rush in a team that's designed for a mobile quarterback?
I agree, but why would they sign him? Why did they sign him as the backup?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
Ask that genius DeCosta's why they signed him.
I ain't even gonna lie. I can't defend. I've been defending DeCosta. I can't defend that one, Stan. I can't defend that one, dog. I ain't got nothing for that. I ain't got nothing. We could have drafted a black quarterback in the 6th round before we gave him some money.
Yeah.
But I will say though, DeCosta has. What I'm saying is, even Ozzie had some letdowns, dog.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is,
Ozzie had a lot of letdowns. Ozzie couldn't draft wide receivers worth of shit. He was drafted and they did not work out. Zay Flowers was the first one to work out. Yeah, I'm talking about being an impact player.
No, Hollywood did okay.
Yeah, Hollywood was all right.
But then why did they let him go?
He wanted out.
I don't know. I'm just asking. Hollywood was really fast but couldn't run routes. Zay is Hollywood.
He was an impactful wide receiver.
Can run routes.
He was an impactful wide receiver though.
He was a good weapon. I wouldn't say he was impactful. He was a
then
weapon.
Why isn't he here still?
He wanted to go, like Kurt said.
He wanted out. He asked for a trade.
Yeah, and what's he done in Kansas City? Get Patrick Mahomes as quarterback.
Well, they had a rough year. They had a weird year.
Get hurt?
Bro,
no, he got hurt.
I'm telling you, they have not, outside of Zay Flowers, they have, I'm talking first round picks. Go through them. Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman was a ghost this year.
Yeah.
After they paid him. An absolute ghost this year.
And you know what's crazy, Stan? If you go by how he ended 2 years ago, you'd have thought he'd have gave us 15 and 15 this year. Like the last 7 games 2 years ago, he was lights the fuck out. I thought we had found something. Thought we found something.
Ain't found nothing. So now we gotta figure out what we're gonna do at wide receiver, because Bateman just has to go. I think it's time to move on from Rashad Bateman, because that wasn't outside of Zay Flowers. And again, that's the thing about Lamar. Lamar won the MVP in 2019 with Hollywood Brown and Willie Snead as his best wide receivers. They cannot continuously just depend on Lamar to make shit happen and pull plays out of his ass. And this is what I'm saying. Like, you want him. This is why we need a coach that is going to invest in Lamar. Invest in Lamar. He's your best player. He's the guy you built your offense around. You have to invest in him, which means you need to invest in your line.
We need a line. Yeah, listen, I don't give a fuck what wide receiver you give Lamar. You give him an O-line, he's going to produce. I don't care who his wide receivers is.
Again, he's won MVP 4 or 5 seconds. With fucking Willie Snead his best receiver, man. Come on now. I was like,
Johnson said he's open to keeping Bang one more year.
I'm not.
Sorry, I'm not, dog.
He also said bring back D-Hop. He also said bring back Hopkins.
No, you tripping.
Hopkins is another example of a guy not utilized properly. I don't understand it. I don't understand why he wasn't utilized better.
Let me tell you who we about to get.
That's on the coordinator. That's on coaching. Because
We're about
every
to
ball that was thrown to him, he caught.
get.
But he
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
utilized.
yeah.
That's why I was saying, bro. I understand what you're saying about Zach Orr and the coach. Look, all these coaches got to fucking go. All of them. Monken got to
You
go.
think Monk gotta go too?
All of them
You
got to
don't
go.
like Monk?
Yeah, I agree with
want
staying on that. Like, since
all
we,
of them
Okay.
gotta
if we
go.
dropping hardball, just clean the rest
Yeah.
of them out.
Yeah, clean them out.
I'm
Just
kind
clean
of
it out.
50-50. I'm
Yeah.
50-50 on Monk.
Yeah.
Monken, I think Monken was on a local show earlier and he kind of suggested that he was out the door. I don't know if these guys will, but everybody needs to be fired. Offensive line coach, defensive backs coach, everybody got to go.
Jeez.
I want new coaches. I want new blood. I don't want anybody connected to Harbaugh. I don't want nobody from the John Harbaugh coaching tree. So I know a lot of people talking about the DC for the Chargers, but he has ties to he was here. Anthony Weaver in Miami. I don't want anybody that's associated with John Harbaugh.
I ain't going that far now, Stan. That's a little extreme.
God damn.
Yeah, that's a little.
So you want to take Mike McDonald back?
I don't want
If
any.
Mike McDonald left
McDonald's the
Seattle.
coach for Seattle. He's not coming.
Yeah, but
And
what
that's
I'm
another
saying
thing.
is he walked
And that's
away.
another thing. That's another thing that's starting to piss me off. Is people doing this whole thing with Mike McDonald. Dude, we were not moving on from John Harbaugh coming off an AFC Championship game appearance. What is y'all talking about? He wanted to be a head coach.
I don't know who said that.
He left to become a head coach. Now everybody know we don't let good coaches walk out the door. He wanted to be a head coach. We were not firing John Harbaugh off the AFC Championship game.
John Harbaugh.
So
Come
look,
on, y'all. Y'all got to be smarter than that, man. Y'all got to be smarter fans. Stop being dumb fans. Because that's some dumb shit. You can't sit there and talk about, we don't let good coaches leave the door. He wanted to be a head coach.
Yeah, I agree.
We weren't firing Harbaugh after the AFC Championship game. That's what stupid teams do.
Let me ask y'all a
We are
question.
not a stupid team.
So, if you had to pick 5 players, not coaches, 5 players that have to go in our locker room, your top 5 gotta goes. Like, I don't want to see them in the Raven jersey next year.
I love Marlon Humphrey. I got his jersey, but bro got to go. It's just not the $20 million cap hit that's coming up. That can't happen. Can't happen. You gotta go. Bateman gotta go. Not productive. Not productive enough. Gotta go.
That's
Faalele goes is without question. I gotta have a better player right there. I gotta have a better player. The Voorhees, I gotta have a better player. I gotta have better players around.
Yo, Stan, you nailing it right now.
Gotta have better players in that situation. Mark Andrews, I get it. They just paid him. They paid the wrong guy again. They paid the wrong guy again. I would have paid Likely and let Andrews walk out the door or trade him. I would have traded Andrews at the trade deadline.
I'm gonna reserve judgment on that because I still think that what happened with that was they kind of looked at Likely and said, we don't think he's the guy going forward. I think they have their eye on somebody in the draft. And so I think they was like,
yeah, we draft tight end.
Yeah. So I think they're like, all right, let's keep Andrews and let's bring in the guy we're coming for the draft, let Andrews coach. That's what I think it is. So I'm going to reserve judgment on that one. I have
Likely's another example. Likely's another example of a guy that wasn't utilized properly.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
His skill set was not utilized properly in his offense. He's a big target. He plays tight end, but he's got wide receiver speed. Yeah, he don't block all that well, but he's a target on the outside. He could have been a target on the outside with his size and his speed, and he never utilized him in that fashion. But I mean, as far as like I said, they need to upgrade a lot of positions. They got a lot of expensive positions that they need upgrades in. They got some bad contracts they got to get rid of. The biggest thing with this team right now is Lamar's contract, and that's the biggest thing with the roster is redoing his contract, and that's going to be another shit show like it was a few years ago because this nigga don't have an agent. So now you deal with Lamar.
Did shit to deserve more money. I think we're gonna end up trading Lamar. I hate to say it.
They're not fucking trading Lamar Jackson. I'm gonna tell that right now. It's not happening. There's going to be one or two things is going to happen. They're going to redo his contract, or he's going to play for that cap number. He's not getting traded. There is no trade for Lamar Jackson that would make up for losing a 2-time MVP. You tell me that 2 first-round picks is enough to justify losing a 2-time MVP. It's
If you
not.
give me if you giving me 2 picks and a young quarterback, like if you giving me 2 first-round picks and a Cam Ward, or 2 first-round picks and a Shedeur Sanders, 2 first-round picks
Are
and a
y'all
Bryce
niggas crazy
Young.
with Shedeur Sanders? And y'all niggas
I'm
lost
not
your
saying.
mind.
I'm
He's
not
a
saying.
fucking bum.
Listen.
He's
I'm not
terrible.
saying. Listen.
He's terrible.
I'm not saying Shedeur Sanders is the next beast. What I'm saying is, I want, if you give me that 2 first-round picks, right, and you give me a young talent like a Cam Ward, like a Bryce Young, one of those young quarterbacks, then yeah, maybe. But I can't see us trading Lamar. But I just say, like,
If you
contract
watch
wise,
Bryce Young and watch
it's gonna
Cam
come
Ward and
down
shit,
to do you want to keep Lamar or do you want to keep a winning organization? Because that's why we're not going after these big name niggas like we used to. That's why we're not bringing them in. How we gonna keep Jadeveon Clowney and we gotta pay this motherfucker 180, and then we got a rookie cap coming through. Then we still gotta re-sign Kyle Hamilton. Then we still gotta re-sign this guy. Zay Flowers' contract is coming up soon.
Mm-hmm.
Why we don't sign nobody else? You want to know why DaCosta ain't making moves in the offseason? Because he ain't got the money.
Yeah, but he still paid some of the wrong guys with the money he did have. Yo.
Period.
That's
Yes.
but because we're going a little long here, yo. So I want to make sure we get to this part, which is going to be like, I mean, I know that there's a lot of speculation about the next head coach. I mean, do y'all have any preference? Do y'all have any prediction? Like, I don't really know, really. Like, where are
You
y'all
shouldn't
at?
even ask me that. You know, I got 7 prospects, Reggie. You know, I got 13 prospects in my head.
13
Number 1, Brian Flores. I think, to me, I that's who I want. Culture-wise, he got a raw deal in Miami. We could talk about our roster, but we have a way better team than what he had in Miami. And they had to beg this man they almost had to constrict this man to lose games. And he was playing with that roster. He was coaching that roster. We have a better roster than Miami did.
Mm-hmm.
I like Brian Flores. Just the Raven culture, I just think I would like him as a defensive coordinator or something. I just want him in the building. My man Rex. I like Rex. And Mike McDaniel.
We with Rex.
Rex Ryan. He'd be our defensive coordinator or something, bro. I just want Rex
Y'all
back on the sideline.
Y'all niggas
You know we love Rex. That's right. We love Rex, bro. Stop it. I love Rex too. Whether y'all want him to be a coach or not, you love him.
This is not 2007 anymore. I don't want nothing to do with Rex Ryan. But if he was any good, Rex Ryan been doing TV for the last 10 years, man. He ain't been in the league. He was an absolute disaster in Buffalo and the Jets at the end.
Guess what?
He's not a good coach.
I bet you that 46 organized noise still works.
In 2000, in 2026.
I bet you he'd have got to the quarterback. This year with that same roster, I bet you Rex would have got to the quarterback.
People only say Rex Ryan because it's a name that people know. That's what it really comes down to. They know his name.
Oh my God!
If he was any good, he'd be in the league coaching right now. That's the bottom line. If he was any good,
I mean, he might not want to though.
He might not want to.
He might be waiting for the be on TV and saying dumb shit. Just saying dumb shit on TV. I get that, man. Like, that's the money right there.
And this is another one though. This dude got an amazing offensive mind.
Yeah.
It's just that, bro, for some reason his teams just fuck each other over. And that's Mike McDaniel. Yo, the Miami Dolphins,
I agree with that.
Them niggas be wide open and they be getting overthrown and dropping passes. Like, he be scheming it, bro. He be scheming it, bro. I seen him. It was like a 3rd down, bro. And he pulled every stop out he could, bro. He did the little reverse, and the reverse came around. The dude grabbed it, and the dude was wide open going down the field. And the dude went to throw the ball, and he overthrew him. And I'm just like, bro, this man be actually scheming it up. I like Mike McDaniel. I don't know if he's culture-wise, if he's enough to be a Ravens head coach.
Not for head coach. He's a clown. He's a clown. He's a clown head coach.
I'm gonna be real. That's actually who I want, honestly. Like
as head coach.
I mean, offensive coordinator. I want.
Yeah, I mean, OC. Yeah, OC. Yeah, but not as the head coach. Hell no.
Yeah.
He's a clown out there.
Together, though. You could tell he can't keep a ship together. He could coach
Yeah.
football,
I
but he
can't
can't
say
keep
that though.
it.
The Dolphins played hard for him though. They didn't quit. Like I don't know,
He's scheming
I
a
mean-
lot of that, Reg.
huh?
He's scheming a lot of that, yo. It looked like they playing hard because the game's competitive. And the reason it's competitive is because he's scheming the fuck out of it.
I mean, I would the minute he got fired, I'm like, yo, Takasa, pick up the phone, bro. Just say, yo,
Yep.
we got an offensive coordinator spot right here for you
Yeah.
in Baltimore, bro. Come here. I would have picked the phone up immediately when he got fired.
Yo, my brother said Deion Sanders. My brother
For
said
what?
Deion Sanders to be the head coach.
what?
Remember, I was
To what about
texting my
team
brother,
mascot?
He trolling you.
I asked him, I said, what we going to do with Deion as our coach, bro? Have all the commercials in the world. We're going to have all the commercials in the world. That's it.
I love his press conferences in Colorado, man. They always make me laugh when he sit there after they got their butts kicked. I love them press conferences.
I think Brian Flores should be our number one prospect.
Yeah. Stan, how about you?
Flores, I like as the head coach or defensive coordinator, defensive minded guy. His Minnesota defenses have been pretty good the last couple of years. He had like Kurt said, got a raw deal in Miami. You know, first year he's there, they traded away all his best players. Because you remember that was the year that we went down there in the first game and beat him like 59-10 or some shit like that. Flores is a good one. Kingsbury for offensive coordinator if he's available. You know, I think he'd be great with Lamar. I do like McDaniel as offensive coordinator, not as head coach, but as offensive coordinator.
I would interview him for head coaching spot too. I would interview him and then.
Well, I don't know. They interviewed a couple of guys already. They've already interviewed a bunch of guys, and people are like, oh my God, they interviewed. I was like, yo, don't pay attention to who they interview.
Yeah, pretty much. I agree with that.
That they just interviewing guys to interview guys. You know, I know they interviewed Stefanski. They interviewed Stefanski yesterday. They're not going to hire Stefanski as the head coach. I don't think.
They bet not hire Stefanski as the head coach.
I don't think so. And I'm not saying he wouldn't be a good.
I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad at that.
It would be again. He had 2 Coach of the Year seasons of Cleveland.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that.
They made the playoffs with Joe fucking Flacco at quarterback. So I'm saying, like, Stefanski's a good
Joe Flacco
coach.
agent's wonder, though. Oh, you can't do that, yo, because he went right to Cincinnati and listen, Joe Flacco mess around with a defense who can mess around and win something big, yo. Like to this day, he still got it, yo.
Yeah, okay. I don't know, man.
That's messed up, yo. That's messed up.
Wrong.
It's just you know, I'm looking at like whether or not they should go after an established coach or a young guy, and I think they're gonna probably go after a young guy because that's what they did with John.
Yeah.
So if that's going to be Kubiak's son, Clint Kubiak, they interviewed him. I could see him being a choice. Like I said, everybody's talking about the DC and the Chargers on Waters.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, yo, one more name.
He's going to be a good head coach, but I don't know if they need to bring him in here because again, of his ties to the Harbaugh family. So I don't know if that's a good idea.
Oh my God! Come on, Stan.
That's crazy, Stan.
That's really crazy treating John Harbaugh like that, yo.
Yo, listen to what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this organization needs a complete clean out reset. John had a great run here, but I don't need connections to Harbaugh still in this organization. They need a new connect. They can pluck from other coaching trees, pluck from Sean McVay's tree, pluck from Shanahan's tree, fine. But the John Harbaugh family tree should be left alone. As far as I prefer.
One more name, bro.
This is gonna be good.
Yo, Bill Belichick. Yo.
I knew it. I knew he was gonna say some crazy name.
No, that's not crazy. That's not crazy.
Again, that's another name. It's another name that people know, so that's why they throwing it out there.
No, but it's not crazy.
Belichick looks like an old. He looks like an old man out there coaching North Carolina. I mean,
he's an old man out there coaching North Carolina.
I'm not hiring no 80-year-old dude to coach my 29-year-old Super Bowl quarterback.
Yeah,
this is not 2000. Again, the game passes these guys by.
No, I don't think
you saw
it did,
Pete
bro.
Carroll out there. Pete Carroll looked like Joe Biden out there coaching. At the end of the day, yo, you can. I mean, I understand that. Again, people know Bill Belichick's name, and he had a lot of success.
All Bill Belichick needs is 2 things. We know this to be true.
Time machine.
All he needs.
A time machine is what he needs. Go back
So fast,
2009,
stop,
man.
yo. What he needed for coaching or his girlfriend? What we need to tell
Right.
people? Let
He
me
made for
stop. Let me
both.
listen.
Both.
He only needs two things: a quarterback and a defense. That's all Belichick needs, and he can get that very easy. He already got a quarterback in Baltimore, and you give him a defense. That's all he needs. And see, Belichick is another one of those guys. When you look at how the Patriots ran under Coach McDaniel, then you look at how they ran under Coach Charlie Weiss, it was two different offenses. Belichick is one of those guys that just has his hands on the game plan. He don't care how you do it. Hey, yo, oh, you know what, Sam? Bump you, bro, because now I just keep seeing Joe Button in the Raiders jersey. I just keep seeing Joe Biden in the Raiders jersey,
I'm
bro.
just saying that.
It's in my head now, yo. That's crazy, dog. I can't
I'm
get rid
just
of it.
saying that this organization doesn't need retreads, doesn't need to hire some 80-year-old dude. They need to hire a young guy with fresh ideas that's more close to the modern NFL. Because John Harbaugh I think the game had kind of passed him by a little bit as far as the modern NFL, how the game is played today.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, you remember when
And-
Washington brought Joe Gibbs back?
Yeah.
It doesn't work. When you bring back guys from the past and you try to bring them into the modern NFL, it just doesn't work.
Hey, Stan. Hey, Stan. I heard people bring up John Gruden. What do you think about that one?
Yo, John Gruden isn't really that bad. He ain't that far from
John
removed.
Gruden, John Gruden, I think, can still coach in the NFL. I still think he's a bright guy, he's smart.
Yeah.
But the stuff that around him as to why he's not coaching anymore, I don't want to touch any of that.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
yeah. We got a black quarterback, too. You might want to let that one go, dog.
yeah, that's not something
Let
that you
that one
usually
go,
talk
dog.
about. Again,
Dang,
I
John,
just
you
think this
just
team,
fucked it up.
no retreads, no guy, none of that crap. Find a young guy with good ideas. We've seen it happen throughout the league, and now you see how it's working with the Rams and McVay and San Francisco and Shanahan. Well, they hired these guys young, and now these guys are now branching out and having guys come from their coaching tree.
Now, I will say this.
That's what they did with John Harbaugh. That's what they did with John Harbaugh.
I will say this though, Stan. Obviously, I think the Belichick thing is crazy. But if you could go back, I know you said the time machine, but if you could go back, not that far back, if you go back to like right after we lost to the Chiefs, you could make a case that we're like, yo, we're right there. We just need a coach to get them over the top. You could make a case at that point if you brought in Bill Belichick that maybe because at that point we had a Super Bowl ready team. It's just, we just couldn't win the big game. So you could make a case that back then maybe, but I don't think now. I think now, Kurt, we kind of need a young coach.
Listen, the reason I'm saying Belichick is this.
We're not knocking at the door, I don't think.
Knowing how to get the thing that Belichick did that made Belichick special was whatever you did great, he took from you. That was his thing. He was a great passing team. He took the pass from you. He was a great rushing team. He took the run from you. That's what he did, yo. What I'm saying is, he's not gonna come in and run no fucking T-bone. He's gonna run, it's gonna be a coordinator. You give him a Mike McDaniel as an offensive coordinator. That's what you do. And then you let Belichick oversee Mike McDaniel, bro. That's what you do. You let him oversee Mike McDaniel and Rex Ryan. You feel what I'm saying? That's our coordinator. Bring that 46 back. Bring that 46 back, Rex. Bring that 46.
He trolling now.
No, but what I'm saying is, I think you get a young coordinator and you get an OG because we do have veterans here. We do got guys that's been in this league a little bit, and we need somebody to have that no nonsense approach. I think would. And another thing, when you bring in a coach, you have to bring in a coach that can talk shit to Lamar. You bring in a young coach that ain't never did shit, Mike can't talk that shit. If Belichick walk in that locker room, he could talk that shit to anybody in there. He has the command. He has the respect. He has the experience. And he's been there.
First of all, he's in a contract with North Carolina, so that's not even a possibility anyway. So all this talk is just whatever. But they need to find somebody that has the command, that's going to command the locker room, that's going to be able to go to the coordinator and say, bro, why are we running the ball so many? Why are we passing the ball so much when we have Derrick Henry back there and we got a 7-point lead? Somebody's going to command their coaches to like, no, we're not doing that.
Named you talking about somebody that's going to command that from their coaches, and you say no to Belichick?
I say no to Belichick because he's 100. I say no to him because he's 100 fucking years old. That's why I say no to him.
But we got wheelchairs in America. We got wheelchairs, nigga.
It didn't look good in his last few years in New England, and again, it looked even worse in North Carolina. He's at North Carolina and a losing team.
If he could pop a pill and lay with a 20-year-old all night, he could walk up and down the damn sideline, Stan.
All right,
come on, bro. He better take some of them hymns. He better pop some hymns.
I'm not going to talk about anything that's not realistic or not, not realistic. Again, no, I trust that Bisciotti will do what because again they did this with John Harbaugh. Nobody knew who the fuck John Harbaugh was when we hired him. We all think who the fuck is John Harbaugh?
True.
Exactly.
That's true.
Exactly.
Again, you talk, so again, they're gonna find someone that
can be a long-term coach. That's not a 2-year.
That's what you're looking for. Yeah. We're not the Cleveland Browns. We're not the fucking Raiders. We're not these loser franchises that just hire a name because hey, everybody knows Pete Carroll. Hey, everybody knows whoever.
Right.
We're not going to do that. That's not what we're going to do. That's not what we've never ever done. True. That's why That's why this has been a successful organization. That's why I think the best coaching prospects are going to line up for this job. It is the best job available of all the teams. And Atlanta's a good job.
For now, because when these playoffs get going, it could be another opening in Buffalo. I'm telling you now, Buffalo loses against Jacksonville. He's gone.
And I think, I'm taking the Jacksonville.
Ain't no way they're going to fire Sean McDermott. It's no way.
How do you not? How many times you get to the doorstep and can't get there? The boogeyman is out the way. The guy they can't beat is gone. Mahomes ain't in it. If they can't get to the bowl this year, he got to go. Ain't no way.
This is Josh Allen's time. No Mahomes, no Burrow, no Lamar.
Yeah, everybody out the way.
Everybody out the way. Like this is their chance. The AFC's wide open. Any one of these teams can go into Denver and beat the Broncos.
Well, hold on.
Any one of these teams can win.
Let's be careful with that now. I don't like that kind of talk.
Here we go.
I don't like that kind of talk.
There's been nothing impressive about the Broncos most of the year.
Yeah, I tell you
what. Don't get me wrong. I don't think they're a good team. They're a good team, mind you. But would you put would you put money on them not getting beat at home next weekend by whoever comes in there and plays them? Whether it's whoever it is, whether it's Jacksonville, whether it's Buffalo, whoever. No, they can be beaten. They can be beaten. The Patriots can be beaten at home. That's what I'm saying. This is a wide open playoffs, which makes it more.
Yeah, bro.
Disheartening.
I'm sorry, Kurt. If they don't get to the bowl this year, they gotta fire him, bro. There's no way.
No, McDermott's gonna get fired if they don't make a deep run. They're not gonna make a deep run because they're gonna lose to Jacksonville Sunday. So they're not gonna make a deep run. I'm predicting that shit. Jacksonville gonna beat the shit out of them. And it won't be close. Jacksonville gonna beat the shit out of them.
Close?
Jacksonville gonna beat the shit out of them.
What's the line on that game? He said they won't be
1.5. 1.5, and I took the Jags 1.5.
Okay.
Straight. I took the Jags 1.5. Jags gonna beat the hell out of them. That's a good team.
It is a good team.
That's a good team, and I just don't see it with Buffalo.
Beat the hell out of them is crazy.
I just don't see it. I don't see it with the Bills this year. I haven't seen it all year with them. And I love Jacksonville. I think the Jacksonville, if Jacksonville and the Patriots play next weekend, that's going to be the team that goes to the Super Bowl, the winner of that game.
And then you also
the Jags have that Super Bowl look to them.
Yeah, you also got Pittsburgh. I don't think Tomlin is safe. They get blown out at home. He could be out.
Pittsburgh is not firing Mike Tomlin.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Now, I've already heard that floated out that the Steelers lose and Tomlin gets canned, and he just comes down here and coaches the Ravens. that would be like the equivalent to Hulk Hogan joined the NWO in 1996.
It would
If,
be. Yeah.
if that would have happened.
It
Wow.
would be. That would be.
That's a good analogy right there, dog. That's a good
But
analogy.
I don't think the Steelers are going to fire Mike Tomlin. Now, if they get rolled up on Monday night by the Texans, who knows? Who at this point, who knows? Again, these owners are crazy and they're old and they just do things. So it wouldn't surprise. But what would be the more likely outcome is Tomlin just saying, "I don't want to coach anymore. I want to go to TV for a year." That's the more likeliest thing. Now, if they were to come up with a mutual parting of the ways or something like that, that's why I think that could happen. Well, they just get together and say, "Let's just go our separate ways." And if that were to happen, the Ravens need to be on the phone with Tomlin the next day.
The next day.
The next day. That dude can coach my team. Again, he's not an X's and O's guy.
Oh, yeah, I love Tomlin. I would love Tomlin as our coach.
Yeah, without question.
He's not an X's and O's guy like John, but he's more of a leader of men than John was. At this point.
I think they're both leaders of men.
No, at this point.
Yeah, I think they're both.
John, at this point, I think kind of lost the team a little bit. I think his messages were kind of getting a little stale.
Yeah.
And once you lose the locker room, you might as well hang it up. I don't care how good a coach you is. You lose the locker room, it's over. And he lost the locker room.
I think he just lost the locker room.
Get fired.
Yeah, so if that happens with Tomlin, then we'll see about that. But right now, I think I want a younger coach. Somebody with good ideas, modern NFL ideas that can put together a coaching staff that's going to be beneficial to Lamar Jackson and his development. Because again, Lamar's 29, just turned 29 a few days ago.
Yeah,
we have to utilize what he's got left because his prime is he's getting to that point. So you have to use. We've wasted enough time. So
yeah. And then you got to understand, like for Lamar, Josh Allen, and Pat, their time might be over. Like it's a whole new echelon of quarterbacks coming up. Like you got Drake May, you got Bo Nix, you got Bryce Young. You know what I mean? CJ Stroud. Look at the AFC. It's a new regime outside of Aaron Rodgers and Josh Allen. I mean, CJ Stroud's been there 2 or 3 times, but he's still like what 24, maybe 25. Like so, it's like a whole league. And then you got more quarterbacks coming in this year. So it's like, I like Jackson
Lawrence, right? You said Trevor Lawrence, right?
Trevor Lawrence. I like Jackson Dart and the Giants. They actually have a pretty solid quarterback. I hope they build around him. Listen, if somebody could catch a pass in Tennessee, Cam Ward would have had an amazing year, bro. Like they got to like lead the history in drops, bro. Every time I watched Cam Ward, he was putting something in the bread basket that was being dropped almost. You know what I'm saying? Like you got Caleb Williams, you got Jay Daniels in Washington. Like it's a whole nation of young quarterbacks coming up now to where as though they're the OGs. It sounds crazy, but Lamar and Josh Allen are the OGs now. Like Aaron Rodgers don't count, ageless wonder. Probably could play till he's 45, but it's a whole new. It's a bunch of new coaches coming up right now.
Yeah, it's a bunch of new guys coming up. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, Josh, Lamar, and Mahomes are still the 2 best guys in the league. Sorry, and Burrow too.
Yeah. Shout out to Jalen Hurts too. Gotta give a shout out to Jalen Hurts. He wins. And that's as much as it goes. But other than that, though, yes, these young quarterbacks is Bo Nix and Drake May, what, in their second years? Bryce Young in what, his 3rd year? Like, come on, bro.
Bryce Young is terrible, bro. I don't know if you've seen his numbers. He's terrible. Them niggas had 66 yards passing the other day against Seattle, man. Come on now. Stop.
Bro, Seattle has
You're gonna see how good he is today when the Rams beat him 35-7, man. I don't Bryce Young.
Yo, I know, bro. You're not about to dump on that man's season, bro. He pulled Carolina up from. I mean, it's
89 season. They won the division because another team lost. Yeah, I got you, man.
Yeah, but they started off like 1-5 though, man. They started off like 1-5.
The niggas won the division because another team won the game, man. Like,
That's messed up, yo. That's messed up, yo. You doing that,
I
man?
don't think
Like,
he's that. I don't think he's that good, man. I still think he's that good.
that's crazy, dog.
All right, guys, let's leave it there. We've been gone for a minute here. Appreciate y'all for coming through. Till next time, man.
Peace.
All right, man.